As negotiations between owners and players continues, we sit and wonder, will there be a 2020 MLB season? And what's up, everybody? It is a somber Monday evening, CT. I don't know why evening came out that way and I called you CT again. This is just whatever, man. How you
I
doing?
don't know. You just call me whatever you want. I don't care at this point. Just change the
Beautiful.
name.
I've always wanted to call you beautiful, just straight up beautiful. Is that okay? Beautiful. Hey,
No,
beautiful.
it's
No.
not okay, guys. We only got 10 minutes here. Let's get into the topic at hand,
Let's do it.
Manny. So earlier today, the MLB PA proposed 114 game season with salary deferral options for players. Uh, we had spoke about it earlier, but since then, a new proposal is being rumored from the owner side. 50 game season, prorated salaries. What say you, my man?
So I actually wrote about it on Call to the Pen, as I often do. I'm plugging my own shit, but I thought that the players laid the foundation for a deal to be made. And now I'm not saying that the players should have accepted that the owner should have accepted the players' proposal, which was 114 games between June 30th and October 31st, an expanded postseason, deferral payments, opt-outs for players that don't want to play, players who just don't feel like playing don't get paid, players who are at risk or who live with people who are at risk will get paid but don't have to play. Some of the things in that offer I feel were fair. A, the deferred payments I thought was fair. P. How the fuck did I go from A to P? What's going on here? A, and I haven't drank today, by the way, guys. B,
Sure.
yet. Yeah. B, you guys don't have no idea what's going on in this brain right now. B, okay, so A, the deferred payments are fair. B, the opt-outs for players who are at risk is fair. And C, did I say the deferred payments are fair already?
Yeah, you said that as your A, I believe.
That
A
was
was
my
deferred.
C was the expanded postseason, which the players were against for a long time, and now they're saying, okay, we'll go from 10 to 14 teams in the postseason. They're also saying because between June 30th and October 31st is 123 days. So that's 114 games in 123 days. They're saying that we will play double headers, essentially. We will take fewer days off. We'll expand the postseason. Just give us deferred money and let some of our players who can't play stay home. Fair. I was expecting from the owners today for them to say, we just can't play 114 games. We're not going to be able to pay you for 114 games. Let's meet somewhere in the middle. The owners proposed 82. The players 114. I was expecting somewhere around the 95 to 100 mark and deal. But no, instead the owners came back today pissed, essentially, and they're saying if we can't come to an agreement, we're going to go back to that contract that we signed back in March. We're just going to shorten the season to 50 games. You're only going to get paid for those 50 games, and that's it. And some people made good points. Last year, through 50 games, the Nats had a 19-31 record. I mean, could you really legitimately crown a champion in 50 games? I don't think so.
What would you want to? What would be the case if 50 games is all we had? In other words, like if there was a situation where it's August and things are what they are today, and 50 games is all we're left with, what would you think of those 50 games then?
For me, baseball is baseball, but I think if I'm looking through the eyes of the average fan, they're seeing two sides here of millionaires and billionaires bicker over dollars and cents, which I get it. But it's only happening in Major League Baseball. We haven't heard players and owners argue in the NFL. We haven't heard players and owners argue in the NBA. We haven't heard players and owners argue in the NHL or any other major sport. Only in Major League Baseball. And only in Major League Baseball is there an actual threat of there not being any season at all this year. That's when the data's coming out that people in the position of these players are pretty much not essentially at risk for COVID-19. And those who are at risk, the players are proposing, don't have to play. You can stay home. So what more could you ask for? You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
in that piece that I wrote earlier today, not to interrupt you, CT, and I don't want to take too much time because I really want to try to wrap this up in 10 minutes for my poor listeners and watchers here who want us to do this in 10 minutes. Um, MLB's passing up could potentially be passing up on a humongous opportunity here to win over some fans that they've lost over through the PED era, through the 94 strike that canceled the World Series for the first time in the history of the game. You have a chance here to be the only sport in America for a couple of months, win over some of these fans, have these people come and watch the tremendous talent that's in the game, win them over so that you can have them for the future, which equals more money in your pockets. I just don't see how they could possibly let this opportunity pass by. And in my mind, I have a feeling that baseball's gonna fuck this up again, man. I don't
well,
know
let me ask.
why.
Well, let me ask you something, Manny. I'm just go with me here. You ready for
I'm
this?
listening. I got you. I'm
All right.
listening.
How many days were they supposed to fit this 114 game schedule in?
123.
123. Does that sound realistic?
No,
114 games, double headers, days off here and there,
not at
100
all.
shortened season, right?
Yeah.
And they're already saying that some of these teams are not going to make it with TV ratings, TV viewerships, um, all that stuff that comes along with being a Yankee organization or a Red Sox organization. Some teams don't have that benefit, correct? My
That's what they're
co-host.
saying, but they won't open their books, so I
Okay,
can't say for
they won't
sure.
open their books. They won't open their books, but bear with me here. The 114 game season sounds unrealistic, and I thought it was a
Hmm.
pretty good deal in the beginning, but it just seems unrealistic because players are already taking days off, right? They're gonna take more days off with double headers. That's less money through TV ratings for when superstars take days off, like Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, all the superstars being Garrett Cole has to skip a start
Oh man,
to
wow!
get his
Only
nail to
Yankee
get
players, huh?
no, I mean, I'm just saying, like a team like the Yankees isn't gonna take a hit. They
uh,
already have enough star-studded,
yeah.
a star-studded roster. But for the Cincinnati Reds, when Trevor Bauer doesn't pitch, no one's gonna watch those games anyway. So, I think that proposal is a little too far-fetched for it to work for the owners. Maybe the owners thought it was a dumb idea and they hit them back with like, here's your prorated salaries for 50 games, which is something you guys want anyways. You want prorated salaries. And I don't think it's about the number of games in a season. I do want to see a longer season. It's already a shortened season though. And what if we only had 50 games? Like if that's what we get, that's what we get. Not siding with the players, not siding with the owner. I don't know.
But the owners showed their hand already because they offered 82 games last week. So
But it wasn't prorated salaries.
it wasn't prorated. It was a salary scale. So the
Yeah.
only way that this is all going to work, the reason why this is a problem is because Major League Baseball is the only sport in which the owners can keep their books closed. And I get it that the salaries are guaranteed for players and that you have guys like Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole? Is that the pitcher the Yankees signed? Yo,
Are
my
you
brain
serious?
is gone, man. You have guys like
Fan or fraud alert?
fraud. Right now, I'm a fraud. My brain is fried, guys. Who got a $350,000, $350 million, 360 million? I'm not sure. Somewhere in that area. Deal. Tomorrow I'll get my facts straight, guys. It's just not a good day right now. Um, uh, and he only plays 30 games a year. So I get it. The players make a good amount of money. But the only way this is going to get solved is if MLB at some point, and I can't believe I'm saying this right now, they have to come to some agreement in which the owners and the players share the revenue 50-50. And that's going to mean that some baseball players aren't going to be able to make $35 million a year. Some players are not going to be able to make $40 million a year like Mike Trout might potentially start making at some point. I'm not sure. I think that's what it comes out to at some point. But you know what? At the end of the day, the players are going to know what the owners are taking in, and the owners will be able to control. And not only that, you'll be able to implement a salary floor so teams like the Miami Marlins don't just tank for fucking 5 to 10 years, win one championship, and then blow it up all over again. You're gonna have to spend that money. So yes, you're not gonna have Garrett Coles and Mike Trouts who are the exception, but you're also not going to have a team full of minor leaguers. You're going to have players that are paid fairly. You're going to have a team that's potentially competitive, and there won't be this fucking issue where we don't know what's going on. The problem is the books are closed on one side, the other side feels like they're being cheated, and nobody's arguing in good faith here. It's just that's the bottom line, in my opinion.
I'm not like trying to build this into like a debate or anything like that, but I have a thought. Like what would happen if they come to an agreement where 50-50 of the revenue is going to be split amongst owners and players, right?
Yeah.
And then what would happen if a guy like Blake Snell, who is the face of the Rays, not the only face, they have a lot of good players, but he's up there, right? And he already said he's not going to take any more pay cuts. But let's say 50% is a huger pay cut for him than before. He decides not to play. The Rays end up losing money in revenue because of him deciding not to play. Like, does that register in like as a valid point why someone wouldn't want to agree to something to that type of deal?
Well, if Blake Snell doesn't want to play, the owners are putting this, the players are putting this in their proposal. They put it in their proposal, and he's not at risk. He's not getting paid. So the Rays aren't going to lose. If anything, they're going to save money because they don't have to pay him the millions of dollars that he makes. I think he
Yeah,
makes
but
10 million a year or something like that.
but this whole idea that MLB is going to be making so much money off of TV streams or whatever
Yeah.
goes down when guys like Blake Snell hold out and don't play.
I mean, I think if you have sports on, baseball is a popular enough sport that if it's the only thing showing in town, and the only sport people are going to watch, and if baseball gets creative with gambling, like we had mentioned in our earlier recording, which I fucked up, so we're doing this all over again. Um, there's opportunities here, but there are no opportunities if there's no games being played. That's the bottom line.
And I thought earlier that if baseball was the only thing on TV, people would watch it. But there is times of the year where baseball is the only thing on TV. I understand we're living in like a different time, but I can't like just say, oh, it's the only thing on TV. People are fizzing at the mouth for sports or entertainment or whatever, because I think we could overestimate that a lot. And I
But
think
but
some
but here's
people
the
might be
thing.
looking at it as an overestimation.
This is where the problem comes is that MLB got. I just googled this. I'm not gonna act like I got this, pull this out of my ass, but it's because I was trying to remember what happened in 2019. MLB saw a record of 10.7 billion dollars in revenues. At the same time, they signed this massive deal. This I can't find, so I can't pull it up right now. I think it was with Disney. I can't remember what the company was for another billions of dollars, right? So that gets split up among all the owners. This is an MLB deal. The commissioner takes it in, distributes it among the teams. We know that the owners have billions of dollars, and that's their money. They're free to do whatever they want with it. At the end of the day, if they decide fuck it, we're not playing, I'm not going to be happy about it because I'm not going to have baseball. I'm not going to have something to talk about every single day. But at the same time, I get it. This is America. You do what
Wait,
you want with your money. You know what I'm saying? But
I,
what I'm trying to say is in between with the argument between players and owners, the problem is that the books are closed. I'll go back to it.
yeah,
So Tampa Bay's owner could have enough money to make the operation to operate, or he may not. But we have no idea. So until then, the players are going to try to fight for what they, that's what unions are for, to fight for, what's theirs.
I have one question. Is the last thing I will ask. Is we're gonna end it after here, but and I really
All
don't know
right.
the answer. I really don't know the answer to this question. But when an organization like the MLB agrees to a deal with T-Mobile or whatever, this massive deal that you spoke about, is that something they receive in one large lump sum, or is it something that they're paid as like a paycheck is to like a player or like me and you like as an employee?
Typically, it's a deal. It might be like a 10-year deal. But
Yeah, and over the
what
10
I'm
years you will
that
receive
ten
this
point
money.
that 10.7 billion was the revenue that they took in for 2019. That's how much money they made.
Hmm.
Then they signed another massive deal, which again I can't find right now. For our
Yeah,
next
but I'm
episode, I'll make sure to do it.
next episode we will figure this out.
I'm not sure how much that is, but it was a 10.7 billion with ratings down, with attendance down in baseball. They still got a record 10.7 billion. The Kansas City Royals, a small market team who Forbes I think was predicting them under a billion, sold for a billion. So I mean, these franchises, they're worth a lot of money. And I get it. It's just assets. It's not liquid money. They can't just spend it wherever they want. I understand that. But at the same time, open up your books then and prove your point. And then the players won't have a leg to stand on. Why keep your books closed? The only reason you keep your books closed is because you're hiding something, or
No,
because
that's not
I
the
think
only
so.
reason.
So why
No,
does the NBA and NHL and NFL, why do they open their books?
I don't know why they open their books, but I can tell you that someone could keep their books closed for the sake of just negotiation. I mean,
Exactly,
why?
for negotiation tactics.
Yeah, for negotiation tactics. That's
Exactly.
a
Because you don't want to show your hand.
yeah.
It's like poker. I'm not going to show you my hand. I'm hiding my cards so you don't beat me. But
Yeah.
this is, I know you don't agree with me. I see it in your face. But if you want to negotiate in good faith during a pandemic, when people are suffering because they're jobless, this is the time you make exceptions and you open your books and say, all right, let's work this out together. But what we're doing now is divisive, and no other sport is doing this. Just MLB. Only MLB, not any other sport. Say your last word, and I won't say anything else after that.
My last word is that I'm going to read up on. I'm gonna read up on books.
All right.
I don't know why I keep getting close to the mic to speak. It's like,
I do it too, man.
sorry guys.
I just want baseball, guys. That's all. All right.
Yeah,
So
we're frustrated, man. I can't look at man anymore and not have a conversation about a game that was played.
right? We've been talking
Like,
about
what?
fucking proposals for.
We were talking about, yeah.
I feel like I'm getting married. Proposals.
Yeah,
we've been
talking. We've been talking about proposals, like back and forth. It's cool. Baseball's like the only thing in the headlines sometimes, but still.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Baseball is getting attention, but it's only negative attention. You know, like when are we gonna get some good attention? We today came out that the Baltimore Ravens are donating $1 million. I'm telling you, man, I can't right now. This fucking brain of mine is shutting down. $1 million, you know, to organizations to combat, you know, discrimination and all this stuff, and good things are happening across the sports world, and I just can't say the same for baseball. I'm sorry, not right now, at least. And I'm not just blaming owners, by the way. I get it. This is America. You're trying to protect. I said that I wasn't going to talk anymore. Here I am again. It's your money, free speech. The rules don't require you to open your books, but don't expect me, a person who reads up on this, stays up on it, to sympathize with you then. Most fans are going to sympathize with you because they don't know what the fuck you make and they don't care to ask. I care to ask. Well, I care about this. So
I just want to get this last word out. I'm not sympathizing with the owners either.
No, I know you're not. I'm not talking about you. You're playing devil's advocate. You're playing the middle. You're giving us the information.
I want to ask a question that would justify something, because if you can justify something, then you're not going to be able to win that argument in a negotiation. Like,
no.
If I can justify why I'm not showing my books, which I'm going to read up on, by the way. Why
you don't you don't have to show your books because the rules don't require you to, like in the other leagues.
Yeah.
But if I just don't think it's a good look right now. And the owners are, and good for them because they have this advantage. They're using it to their advantage. They know that fans. I don't know who the fuck John Fisher is from the Oakland Athletics. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who the owner of the Milwaukee Brewers is. I don't know who the owner of the Kansas City Royals is. Like, you know, I can't name you half of these owners. And that works to their advantage. Whereas I can recite to you right now how much fucking Manny Machado makes a year. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, but we don't know the names of the owners. But that's public information.
It's public information, but
who the owners are.
But how many times could you have a conversation about player salaries and be able to recite, for the most part, about how much money each player makes? You probably can because we've done it before. But we can't sit here and have an open conversation about how much this owner makes or that owner makes. Manny Machado is a public person. John Fisher doesn't have to be public. He can hide behind, you know, whatever the fuck he wants.
Why do we keep going back to John Fisher, man?
Because he's the only one I could think of. Hal Steinbrenner. That's the thing. Hal Steinbrenner is a public personality. John Henry is a public person. You know what I mean? Like
poor John Fisher, man. He probably woke up this morning, thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah. John Fisher woke up and said, thanks, Daddy, for my inheritance.
My screens are frozen, so I can't